My creep today, ladies and gentlemen, Dana Rivers. She was born David Warfield. Rivers grew up in the San Francisco area. She served 3 years in the U.S. Navy before pursuing a career in education. David Warfield was an awesome teacher, Carl.
Yeah.
Awesome teacher. He became a labor leader in Orange County for the American Federation of Teachers, and in the 80s was twice elected to the board of the Huntington Beach Union High School District. He was also a baseball coach and a whitewater rafting instructor. But his home life was a little suspect, guys. His home life was a little suspect because he suffered from alcoholism.
Oh, that sounds like a party.
He had a little bit more. He had a few other issues, but he also had 3 failed marriages in the 80s and 90s and drinking a lot. And by 1990, David was diagnosed with gender dysphoria, which was a very serious thing in his life. And he hit it. And in 1999,
hold on a second, but he's a guy. How does that happen? Like you won the lottery. You got to be a guy.
Trust me, great. It happens.
Happy days. Happy days. I mean, this isn't even making sense, Vinnie. I understand women are like, geez, I wish I was a dude. That looks awesome. Like, yeah, it is. And it really is. You're missing out.
Well, this was a dude who inside was a lady.
Oh, boy.
It was Dana Rivers inside.
Oh, no.
And in 1999, Dana Rivers could not be hidden anymore. And she was born, and David Warfield was gone. Now, Rivers gained global attention in 1999 when she was fired as a teacher because she came out as a transgender woman to her students.
In San Francisco?
Unbelievable, right?
That sounds odd to me. I'm surprised.
Here's a photo of Dana.
All right.
Lovely lady.
Lovely.
So Dana.
Yeah, she's got the makeup thing down. I'll give her that.
Yeah. So Dana was working in a school in Sacramento. Before coming out, she was recognized as an outstanding teacher by the school. When she started to discuss her transition, she was warned not to discuss such matters with the kids around the school at all. And ultimately, the school board ended up firing her in a 3-2 vote. She sued the school, and they settled out of court for $150,000. Now, this made national news.
Righteous bucks.
This became national news. So she started going around on speaking tours, talking about her experience and trying to encourage other trans people to be brave and talk about how the laws have changed and where the laws need to get better in these regards. So
wait, was she just telling people how to sue a school and make money from it?
Yeah.
Because I think that would be pretty heavily attended. You have a lot of teachers in that.
I would do the same thing. It's called Vinnie's Slip and Fall Seminar.
Right.
You got to come by. I'm going to teach you exactly what you need to do. Spill some milk on the floor and act like a turtle. It's simple. It's very simple, folks. It's a foolproof method. It only costs $200 to come. So, to get back to this, she is becoming quite the advocate for her community. Now, she lost her job, which is terrible and unfair. And she decided to move to the Bay Area. And in her off time, she found a new hobby, Carl.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
Well, she joined an all-female motorcycle club called the Deviants.
Sweet.
Yeah, here's a picture. She went from there to this.
I wonder if John knows about this club. He should join this one.
Now, Rivers would later claim to have the title of enforcer for the Deviants.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in this group, the other members said that Dana maybe watched a little too much Sons of Anarchy at this time. You know, she took things to be a little too serious. Now, Dana identified as a lesbian. She met a beautiful woman named Patricia Wright.
So hold on a
also
second.
In the group.
So Dana was a guy who wants to drive around on motorcycles and bang women.
Yep.
So he had it all figured out.
Yep.
I don't understand why he would make this move. This is a bad move for him.
What do you mean?
I mean, you see what's happening here. He's like, I want to become a girl and then like Star Wars. That's how that works.
Born David, but Dana was who was inside, and Dana is a woman.
All right, you win this week.
You win. Motorcycles. Do you remember how I told you I was going for creepiest lesbian and I decided to change my creep?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, here's why.
Okay.
So she meets this woman named Patricia Wright. Now, unfortunately, her interest in Patricia was not reciprocated. Patricia was not interested because Patricia was married to another lovely woman named Charlotte Reed. And they had a 19-year-old son, Betty Toto Diambu Wright, whom they adopted from Africa. They're a really lovely couple. Here's a picture of them. This is a picture of Patricia is on the left there, and then the Charlotte is on the right, and the son is obviously in the middle. Now, at some point, Patricia decided to leave the motorcycle club. Now, I've heard some things about what happens when you leave a motorcycle club. It's not really looked upon, well by the other members. But in this particular case,
not Islam. You can get out of a motorcycle club.
You can leave a motorcycle club.
Hell, I got the shit beat out of me for saying no to the Hells Angels when they asked me to join.
Really?
Yeah.
I knew you'd have a story about motorcycle clubs. I had a feeling you would.
Well, Dana kept up her friendship and her flirtation with Patricia, and also made some new friends, members of the Hells Angels that she met.
Okay.
So she's hanging out with the Hells Angels. She's a member of the Deviants. And this is around the time she got herself what's called a 1% tattoo. Helga, do you know what a 1% tattoo is?
Yes.
Can you tell everybody what it is?
If you're a member of a 1% motorcycle club, you get tattooed with a 1% tattoo.
Yep. And what is the definition of the club? 1%?
Well, it's 1% of the motorcyclists on the road are the outlaw motorcycles, Hells Angels, Pagans, Gypsy Jokers, and whatnot.
Yep, that's exactly right.
I have friends in 5 clubs.
Sure.
That's why I didn't join. That's why I didn't join the Angels, because I got friends in 4 other clubs, and so why would I want to join any one club?
Agreed. But this woman, Dana Rivers, wants to hang out with the Hells Angels and whatever, but she's a member of the Deviants, and the Deviants are 9 women who are all in their 50s. Some of them are moms. They're not looking for the Hells Angels lifestyle. They're just people who ride their bikes on the weekend for fun. They're not 1%ers, this group. They have the name the Deviants as a joke. So, long story short,
I don't think that's true. Are we going to get to something at some point? Holy shit, we could have started here.
Sure, maybe. Sure.
What are we doing?
Okay, we're in November of 2016. Maybe she was drinking too much. Maybe it was the fact that Patricia was happy, or that Patricia had left the club and disrespected their colors. But she called her old friend and made up a story about needing a place to stay in Oakland one night. Patricia agreed. Wright and Reed were both stabbed and riddled with bullets in their bed that night. Reed was stabbed a dozen more times than Wright. Reed is the one that Wright would not leave to come be with her. She was stabbed to the point of being unrecognizable. Okay. Their son was found dead in the street after he dragged himself from the house after being shot and having his face beat in with brass knuckles. Am I getting to a good part for you yet,
Yes,
Carl?
all right. Now we're starting to see why this person's a creep. Yes.
Why this person's a creep.
It's all making sense.
Now, when police arrived at the scene following 911 calls from neighbors who heard all the shots, they found Rivers running from the house, which was on fire, by the way, holding a gas can covered in blood. She had knives, ammunition, and metal knuckles.
Yeah, but where's your proof that she did it? Where's the evidence?
Everywhere.
I'm not
all
buying
over
it.
the walls, all over the
it.
floors. Ton of evidence, Carl. And the worst part is she wants to be this Hells Angels badass.
Sure.
The first thing she does when confronted by the cops, guess who she blames?
Oh, no, you can't rat on the club.
Guess who she blames? The Deviants. The Deviants made me do it. I'm the enforcer. They made me go. She tried to leave the club, and I'm the enforcer, so I had to go take care of it. It's not my fault.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So the first witness they call to trial, Helga, the first witness that they call to trial is the president of the Deviants Club, who's like, listen, we've had people leave all the time. All they have to do is give us their patch back. We don't care. We say thank you for joining us and being a friend. We're all nice. We don't care about this. This person's crazy. And throughout this trial, she tried to claim that she was insane. She tried to blame everybody else. And it ended up being, she ended up being convicted, obviously, and sentenced to life in prison. This is her in 2021 when she went into jail. And I found a follow-up article about her time in prison.
Is she in a female prison?
She is in a female prison.
So, I mean, that's pretty cool. It's pretty good.
She ended up on top with this one.
Yeah.
After ending up in her chosen prison, because there's a law in California that if you've been diagnosed with gender dysmorphia, you can pick which prison you go to, female or male.
Okay.
She picked female, and
we all would. I'd get that diagnosis pronto if I got arrested for this.
She has no chance of parole, by the way. She's like in there forever.
Okay.
She has been terrorizing her peers inside of the jail.
I would imagine.
Inmates have complained that she's been leering at them and making them uncomfortable by masturbating in the showers while looking at them in the eyes.
Yeah, that's fun.
Now, while patronizing them and rubbing the outlandish transgender policies in their faces, as part of this, she has been allegedly forcing women to push her around in a prison wheelchair, even though she doesn't need it. I don't know how this works, but she's apparently a problem in jail. That is my creep, ladies and gentlemen. Dana Rivers.
All right.
She murdered this poor family for literally no reason other than this woman wouldn't give in to her sexual advances because she was happily married.
But she was also the enforcer.
She was not the enforcer.
So she had to do that.
They were a bunch of hobbyists, and she's a lunatic.